The King's back. 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 The King's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's cracking? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and we are live May 21st, 2025 on this Wednesday where I come on and do my weekly Wednesday vlog where I come on and talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. And tonight we're going to be covering two stories that I believe are I'm not going to say related, but it's something that I just want to talk about. Tonight, we're going to talk about two escapes, one physical and one political. On one hand, we've got men who literally escape slipping through the cracks of a New Orleans jail system that has been criticized for years. On the other hand, we've got one of our leaders of the free world addressing the cracks in his own cognitive health, trying to escape the growing doubt of the American people. These stories might feel unrelated, but they say something powerful, in my opinion, about where we are as a country, that our security is weak. Accountability in this world is even weaker, and confidence, whether in leadership or institutions, is hanging on by a thread. So tonight, I want to dig into both of these, not just the headlines, but what they mean for us, the people that are watching all of this unfold, trying to make sure that we keep things nice, neat, and accountable for what we're going on with today. So strap in, let your voice be heard, hit the like button while you're at it, as I'm streaming on multiple platforms, and let's get into it. Let's see. First story that we have up here, we're going to talk about the New Orleans prison escape. The New Orleans prison escape, if you hadn't heard about it, there was on May 16, 2025, 10 inmates escaped the New Orleans Parish prison by removing a sink toilet unit and crawling through a hole behind it. Surveillance footage that I'm going to play shortly captured the men escaping and scaling the fence at around 1:01 a.m. in the morning local time. And I believe New Orleans is central. but the escape wasn't officially reported until nearly 9 a.m. the following day, giving them a significant head start. Now, there's going to be some key things about some of the people that got captured that I'm going to highlight, and part of that is laughable. So here's some of the key details. It was believed that there could have been some inside assistance because there's no way that those prisoners could have escaped on their own. And authorities suspected that there was some inside help. Now, it has been revealed and published that a maintenance worker, a man by the name of Mr. Sterling Williams, was arrested for allegedly turning water off to the cell, enabling removal of the toilet that was used to escape. Sterling's attorney is claiming that he was held up at a knife, or there's a prison word for like a shank or something, and that they told him to do it, and that if he didn't, they were going to stab him. All right, that's one theory. The fact that the escape went unnoticed for almost 8 hours was due to staffing issues. There was one guard assigned to the cell pod that was there, and he was away getting food. And a civilian monitor failed to report the escape despite witnessing it on surveillance. We got these people in jail, and we're supposed to trust that the people that are there to monitor them are going to do their job. But I'm going to play here the video of the men running out here. Let me see if I got it. Here it is right here. All right. We're going to get to, well, I fast forward the men leaving. That's part of the video. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. Where's the video at? All right. Get this off my screen. This isn't the right one. I got to fire my assistant. What are you doing? All right, hold on. Let's run this back. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it live. Here it is. So that right there, and I'm going to make it smaller. That's the video of the footage of the men escaping. I'm going to run that through a loop here. So this is them running for life with what? Their prison uniform on. Looked like some of them got on. It looked like they all got on shoes. All men of color, dipping, gone. Some of the profiles of these men were men that were in prison for murder. Okay. So those are the 10 men that had escaped the prison cell. Now, as of this live stream, 5 of the escapees have been recaptured, including individuals that were facing serious charges such as murder and armed robbery. The remaining 5 are still at large, prompting a widespread manhunt that's involving nearly 200 law enforcement officers. Now, here's what's interesting about some of the ones that have escaped. So I'm going to bring up a photo here, and I'm going to show y'all. This is a graphic of where the prison was and where 5 of the escaped people have been found. So I'm going to show my screen here. And where you're looking at on the screen, there's a red dot. So where the red dot is located at, right here, that is where the prison is. These 5 orange dots are where the 5 people were captured at. Now, this scale right here, there's a line right here. This is a 2-mile scale. So you're talking 5 of the people that had escaped that have been caught since they've escaped on May 16. They were all caught within 4 miles of where the escape happened from. Here's what I would tell some of these dummies. If you're going to escape prison, leave the area. Why would you hang out and remain at your last known address? What's that? Your LKA in cop speak shorthand. They're going to automatically go check your mama house. I'm going to go, I escaped. Mama, come get me. Dummies. Oh, hey, babe, I'm at escape jail, and I'm going to come stay at your place. They ain't going to think to check me there. You idiots. My opinion the 5 people who haven't been caught yet, they were a lot smarter. They decided to get up out of that place and dip and not stay any place local or any of their last known address. Now, for the other 5 that have been escaped, there are people that are concerned about public safety. All right. And part of why they were able to escape to that specific prison had put in several requests for money, right? Because prisons cost money. Money makes the world go round. Everything costs money. And it has been said that that specific facility has had years of requests for funding to update things, funding for personnel, that they weren't getting the funding that they needed to address securities and vulnerabilities that occurred. And that led to what you are seeing today. On one hand, to the escapees, I don't blame them. If you got an opportunity to free yourself, why not take it? Why not address the systemic issues that the facility was facing and take advantage of it? On one hand, I don't blame them. But what do y'all think? Let me come into the comments here and see who we've got popping in. Shout out to Jug Flex Promoter or Jub FL Promoter. I might have said your name wrong. It's all good. My bad. You gave the salute. I give you the salute back. I appreciate you popping in over on YouTube. Shout out to my lady, God Happened to Me on YouTube, and Michelle Early on Facebook for popping in and saying good evening. And hey, handsome. Hey, baby. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. All right. So what do y'all think? What's y'all take on what occurred during the New Orleans prison escape? And what's y'all's confident on law enforcement being able to recapture the remaining 5? Should that maintenance worker face any significant jail time or charges for his involvement if he was indeed threatened to do what he did to help them escape? Let me know in the comment section down below. Our next story, and this one is just as egregious as well. President Biden. So President Biden had announced, let me go back in here and look at my notes, sometime this past week at the age of 82 that he's been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has metastasized to his bones. The diagnosis followed recent urinary symptoms and the discovery of the prostate nodule, of a prostate nodule. And doctors have confirmed a high Gleason score of 9, indicating a rapid growing cancer. Okay. I don't know much about cancer. I know that cancer is a bitch. I know that when you have any aggressive forms or rapidly growing cancers, that if it's caught early, things can be done. If it's caught late, then you've been dealt a bad hand. The part about this that concerns me is the timing and the transparency of everything. The announcement was made publicly by Biden's personnel office to maintain transparency amidst growing public concern. But the timing has definitely sparked speculation about how long he's known about the cancer and the people that are involved in his camp, and whether the condition was concealed throughout his presidency. Now, let me give respect to where respect is due. Joe Biden deserves the respect befitting of a president, befitting of his career, and for some of the things that he's done throughout his life. Let me say that. I have no ill will against him. He's lived a life that the average person could live, right? It's difficult to find somebody that grew up having a clean life, is known throughout to be honorable, right? Because there was some stuff about plagiarism that Biden got, hit on at when he was in law school. Okay. Yet, if you've got the right pedigree, you can survive uh, a lot of different things. So, to do public service, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. You're going to be scrutinized every time you do something. All right. Let me see. There is something that I want to look up here before I continue. Let me see if Biden and I have one thing in common here. And I'm curious if he was in the military or not. But let me look here. Okay, so President Joe Biden did not serve in the military. During the Vietnam era, he received 5 student draft deferment while he had attended the University of Delaware and Syracuse University College of Law. And in 1968, after completing law school, he was classified as 1-Y by the selective service criteria due to asthma, meaning he was only eligible for service during a national emergency. Okay. Bo's son served in the Delaware Army National Guard and deployed to Iraq as a JAG. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so he was not a veteran. But again, has done a life of public service. It's difficult to say if he's been honorable the entire time, but who can say that they've led a honorable life the entirety of their life? That can be difficult. Now, with the timing of his diagnosis, the earliest things that I could find in doing research on this was apparently there were some early diagnoses around 2014. President Biden was our 46th president. And after the midterm, went to seek re-election, and almost towards the end of everything, bowed out of the race. Which, in my opinion, if his camp knew about his cancer diagnosis and they concealed it, and they went through and still tried to prop him up initially as the Democratic lead throughout that time, if he would have backed out and the Democratic Party put anybody up, I don't know how our election results would have been. I'm not here to say that I'm for one party or another party. I know how I voted. I want to say that that's even public, but whether that is or not, we're not here to talk about that. The blunder that I want to highlight is putting this fool out there, having this diagnosis come now, right? And opening further scrutiny to the party in general. It's like, what were y'all thinking? Did somebody raise their hand and say, we should put this out there now? Let's not wait. Because it's not about just the now and his legacy, but America in general. Things like this are what cause eroding trust in our government. Some people might say that it's not a big deal, but to me it is. Because come this next midterm and our next election cycle, this gives the opposition ammunition to now say, can you trust your party when your party's done this? And now, instead of fighting for the good things that a representative is trying to do for the American people, now we're having to spend energy defending the actions of someone else. Okay. When you looked at the last debate that President Biden was in, you could tell something was up, and it wasn't just his age. First of all, I don't know why anybody in their right minds would elect somebody as old as he was to serve as president. Some people say with age comes wisdom, and I get that. And there might be a bit of ageism in what I'm saying here, and y'all can judge me all y'all want for that. right? Y'all can judge me all I want. I know that if I was down in a burning house, I don't want a 70, 80-year-old dude bringing my big ass up out of a burning house to try to save my life and take me outside. No. With the presidency, you want to display strength, in my opinion, right? Mental acumen, that mental acuity. Those are big words. And to have a president that was stumbling the way that President Biden was, which, correct me if I'm wrong, President Biden has a speech impediment. Nothing against people with a speech impediment. People don't know this. I have a speech impediment. I just hide it really well. I am what's called a covert stutterer. Sometimes I can't say a whole coherent sentence, and it's frustrating. But I have ways of concealing my speech impediment. So I'm not even going to put the speech impediment thing against them. But if you had an aggressive cancer diagnosis fairly early on, and you treated it, and it allowed you to get through this presidency, on the one hand, I'll commend you. I'll give you an applaud. But is it responsible? Is it responsible? Y'all tell me. I would like to know y'all thoughts. Okay. So my assumption is that he's going to complete some type of treatment. The things that I read up said that the disease is hormone sensitive, giving his medical team hope for effective management. And there's various treatments that could involve things like hormone therapy, chemotherapy, and radiation. Okay. And different experts have said that with appropriate treatment, patients can live several years, even with an advanced form of prostate cancer. Now, let's speak to the men out there. If you're a man over a certain age, make sure that you're getting checked. I believe current medical guidelines say that over the age of 40, men should start getting screened for prostate cancer. I'm over the age of 40. I'll be 41 this year. And I'm fortunate enough that when it comes to medical things, I'm covered. I served as a veteran. I have VA health care. And my VA health care it leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't have any complaints overall, but I've seen other people's health care and how, they've been treated. And if you live in the right area, paying the right taxes with the right healthcare system, you're fortunate. You're lucky. VA healthcare, again, I'm not going to complain. There are things that I believe could be improved, but that's just me. I also have TRICARE. Part of the reason why I've been able to use that is from my service in the military. And my TRICARE, it's okay. It's okay. Because I primarily do my healthcare through the VA, they don't follow up with me as much as I would like them to. And part of that's on me, because could I push to say, hey, I haven't had my annual in over 18 months, right? Like I'm 6 months past my annual. Have I gotten a call? Nope. But I'm good overall. So it's just one of those things. Now, let me get to my closing monologue, see if I have any comments here, and we're going to wrap up today's live stream. So, food for thought here. Whether it's a man or men slipping out of prison, or our nation's president or former president confronting serious healthcare issues, tonight's story reminds us that the truth has a way of breaking free. We can only contain failure, weakness, or dysfunction for so long before it finds a way to expose itself. Every single time. If you think you're going to lie and get away with it, I've learned the hard way multiple times that the truth eventually finds its way out. So the real question to everybody out there is this: are you paying attention? Or are you too tired, too distracted, or too comfortable to notice the signs that are out there? Most of us out here are not just observers. You're voters, your taxpayers, your citizens, and you have a voice. And you really ultimately accept what continues to happen in your country by the people that you elect to represent you. Understand that. These are things that I didn't get in my 20s. I really didn't understand it in my 20s. I know you talk about it when you're going through grade school, but I really didn't understand the impact of all of these things until very recently. When people speak about government in general, the words that they use are corrupt, inept, fraudulent. Who are the examples of the good people? I personally know one elected official that not just because of who she is, I consider her a friend, but like I know enough of her background enough to know that the people who elected her indeed elected a good person. And I'm not going to say her name here, even though I think I have prior, but that is one person that, take my affiliation to her and friendship aside, like there's nothing negative that I can say about her and how she makes decisions involving not just herself, but the people around her. That's a rare thing. That's a rare thing. And maybe the good politicians are just quiet and people don't have anything to say about them because they've got their head down and they're putting in the work, doing the things for the will of the people. The will of the people, not yourself. You don't elect people to then get into office and serve you. You elect people or you get elected. I'm sorry. You get elected to serve the will of the people. I think people forget that. I think law enforcement forget that. Right before I came on live, I watched a video of a elected sheriff think that he was above the law because another deputy in a different county decided to give him a warning. And I'm like, what makes you above the law? And the deputy, as he walked off, unprofessionally called him a jerk. And I was like, that was too much. That was too much. But he didn't let this guy off just because he was a cop. All right. So look, y'all. I hope y'all are paying attention to what's going on out there. If you have the privilege of living in a nice bubble, or let me even change that. Let me change that. Some people cultivate. They cultivate a nice, peaceful life, and they work hard and they put in the resources and they shield themselves and their loved ones from the stupidness of the outside people. Congratulations. You are a minority and good for you. I share a lot of the bad things only because some of this stuff does have an impact, right? Directly, none of this has a direct impact on me. Yet, it is my hope that we can get more people to live a better life, right? We don't just live on this earth by ourselves. We all share the same resources. And if you're smart enough, you're able to insulate yourself from the foolishness of others. And that's what I intend on doing. Trains going this way, right? And that's to a better life. And if you're dumb enough or ignorant enough that you can't make better choices for your life to be better around you, I don't feel sorry for you. Do better. All right. Let me check the comments to see if we have anything before I close off. Let's see. We got Angie Trust is in the building. Said, "What up, King? Hey, I appreciate you tuning in." Kaz said that people don't really pay attention until you become an adult with family and maybe a mortgage, where the actions of politicians affect you more directly. Absolutely. And said, at least it was like that for me. And I mean, cause it was like that for me too. And that's just being transparent. I can tell you in my 20s, I can't recall if I voted throughout my 20s when I was active duty in the military. I want to say I voted during the 08 when I was in Japan. through mail-in. I can't recall if I did, right? And that was more sensationalism around the candidate that was up for presidency. But I was in Japan. I didn't really know too much about what was happening back in America. Hopefully we could get our youth to understand. But man, if you're around some of these, like the youth now, it's a small subset of our youth that I have faith in. The average of our youth, I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about. I don't know what went wrong when we have access to more information than we did in the past, that have allowed critical thinking to just go by the wayside, that have allowed accountability to lack everywhere. Maybe we have more people seeing that you don't need to excel to get ahead in life. Maybe we have too many people seeing average, where we're rewarding mediocre behavior. We're giving the participation trophies out to things, and our youth grew up seeing more of that than, if you didn't make the podium for first, second, or third, tough titty, do better. Maybe that's why the generation behind me are struggling. And those that get it, they stand out above the average person leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. My daughter is graduating high school next Tuesday, and a good bit of her peer circle, they're good. They're solid. When you look at the rest of everybody in general, they're the ones that make me worry. Angie Trust said that was true, cause, and that she agreed with you, and that a lot of the youth are concerning. Angie, you have raised young adults now, and you've seen and observed the other people around their age. And I shake my head at some of the things that I see. I shake my head at a lot of the things that I see. Ka said over on Facebook, a lot of kids now aspire to be viral TikTokers, and many adults too. Hey, if you're one of the fortunate people that can make a living doing it, bravo, good to you. It is harder than most people think. It is harder than most people think. Right now, I'm live. I'm talking. I'm presenting my thoughts and information in a coherent way. And I'm able to do that sensibly, frequently, not as frequent as I would like to. And I have fun doing it. If I could do this for a living, you bet I would. But it's not just as easy as turning on the camera and talking and thinking that that's what's going to earn you a living. There's a small percentage of people that can do that, but they've cultivated an audience or whatnot. And some of these kids, they see this and they go, ooh, I can do that too. And to those people, I say, good luck. And if you make it, show me the formula. Okay. But that's my live stream for tonight, y'all. I'm about to end. That's all I came here to present. And I'm ending when I got the most people viewing right now, too, which is sad and unfortunate. Okay. But I'll be back live next Wednesday. I will be live next Wednesday. My family's going to be in town for my daughter's graduation, but that's not a reason that I cannot present and do my live stream. So I'll be back next Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, with another live stream. To those of y'all that tuned in live, thank you. To everybody else that's going to watch the replay, I appreciate you too. Just don't forget to hit that like button on whatever platform that you're watching this on, because that helps me out. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.